Okay, folks, welcome to part 2 of Sunday Night Futures Live. I had to cut the original stream short due to a potential family emergency. It didn't turn out to be one, thank God. Everything's cool. So I did not want to leave everybody hanging. I wanted to get back to stock chart requests. And the symbols we're going to talk about this evening are for Lee Cable, Riot. That is Riot Blockchain. For Talon, BROS. For Mark, we have HIMS. For George, we have Marvel. For Jody, we have Oxy. So let's get to it. First up is going to be Riot Blockchain. And actually, before I get into Riot, I want to do a reminder that TrendSpider, which is what we're going to be using and demonstrating tonight, they're having a 4th of July up to 50% off sale. So please use the link below and take advantage of that discount. If you're watching this on Twitter, link above, Facebook, link above as well. So check it out, 50% off, help support the channel, use that link and enjoy it. It's a great product. Okay, so let's get to it. Riot Blockchain, as I typically like to do, I like to begin with a bare minimum, a weekly chart. And in fact, this is a little bit of a chart. I want to go to a monthly chart, and this is better. So with Riot, I'm going to take off all of these manual trend lines. I want to get rid of them all. All right, let's start fresh. We haven't gone over this one in quite some time. Sometimes it's just good to clear the older and, for the most part, insignificant resistance levels. We can always add them back on in the future. Let's start fresh. Let's begin with the automated trend lines. Let's see what they have to tell us. So you can see back here that the shares of Riot Blockchain hit this lower band of support. I did not draw this. This is the algorithm that drew that support level. And we bounced, rallied, pullback, retest of what was support back here was support yet again. Then what we did is we rallied through this pivot point at $10.41. And you can see as we broke through it here the week of, actually this is a monthly chart. Monthly chart back in April, we closed above it, consolidated. We've been retesting. We failed here in February. And we're trying to recapture it now. We have one trading day left to go. The closing price on Friday was $10.55. This could be getting ready to recapture a support level. So an up day or flat day on Monday could be very positive for Riot Blockchain. Does that mean you go buying 100% of your intended allotment? No. Could mean you begin to nibble. And then you take out, since I don't have any more automated trend lines, we could overlay the Fibonacci's, not much help on this instance. So I'm going to do this. I'm just going to take my manual trend line. I'm going to say, okay, rules-based approach. If we close above this support level here, $10.41, I'll nibble. I'll open a position. I'll scratch the itch. I'm in the game, but I'm not accepting too much risk. Then I'd be a buyer above this resistance level here at around $13 per share. I don't want any sensitivity. I just want to know that we closed above $13 per share. And you need not wait till the end of the month of June or July, August. If it closes above there on a weekly time frame, especially nearer towards the ends of the month, you could add more to your position, and we'll keep this active for 60 days. That should do well. Now, we have a nice long consolidation. We have a higher low. I think we're firming up here on Riot. Let's go to a weekly chart. We had a nice breakout last week above that resistance level I mentioned. That's resistance level number 1. This is resistance level number 2. So you can nibble on a close above this mark tomorrow, Tuesday, daily view. A down day on Friday, but that was a retest of that support level number 1. So I think this is firming up here as a bullish play. Let's check in with the seasonality of the stock. This company's been around for a while now. 22 years worth of data. June is not a great month, but July is one of the better months. 50% probability of an up month. That's not great odds for me, so I don't think you could really rely all too much upon seasonality here. We could take a look at this on a weekly time frame and say, do we have an edge for the week if you're a short-term trader? And not really. I wouldn't rely too much upon seasonality here as an edge. It's certainly not a negative time of year going into July to own the stock. I'll put it that way. Now, looking at what the insiders may or may not be doing, not much happening here at all. Officers are being awarded stock. They're not selling. They had one seller here back in December. Not a big deal. So we're not seeing a lot of accumulation. We're not seeing a lot of distribution. Now, ideally, with a stock that's in recovery mode like this, technically, you would see more insider buying. That would make me more enthusiastic about the stock. I don't know what the short squeeze potential is here. So that may be an opportunity if you have a high short interest in the stock. But I think Riot Blockchain is far closer to the bottom and getting ready to move up higher than moving into a correction mode. So bullish on Riot Blockchain. For Talon, ROS, again, same deal here. We're going to pull back. Weekly chart will do. We've looked at this one in the past. So a nasty sell-off. We have our recovery. We'll call this a triangle formation. So we're getting ready for a breakout or a breakdown. Given the fact that you have the trend clear, it's defined, it's up, the probability of a continuation move higher is very likely. Daily view. Yeah, this is a good setup here, daily chart. We had a breakout here on June the 24th. Retest 1, retest 2, follow through on Friday. Bullish on BROS. Let's check out the seasonality. Not enough data for seasonality. Let's check out what the insiders are doing. You have some insider selling going on here. Let's go to the officers. So Travis Boersma has been selling stock. I could have sworn they gave you the title he holds on the SEC doc, but he is an officer of the company. He's been selling shares. Now, you need to put things into context. What percentage of his overall holdings is this? I mean, if he's still a major holder of the stock, then really you need to find some context here before you draw conclusions to whether or not you have a major insider distribution or is the guy just selling stock to pay taxes or to buy a new yacht. Who knows? So BROS, a little bit more research needs to be done by potential investors. I mean, these are some big dollars here that this guy's distributing. So he's been doing it for several months. It looks like he has a automated number of shares that are being sold off here. He's been selling a lot of stock. That's the only warning flag I see out here on the stock. But otherwise, technically looking pretty good. Now, looking at HIMS, HIMS, very good company. They had some poor news come out about their weight loss drug and their partnerships, and I don't know much about it. I just know that was the catalyst to send the stock down lower. Now, it's a good company. The impact on earnings, I don't know if there will be one. Was this just a knee-jerk reaction? Not quite sure. But we have rallied off the lows of that sell-off. Is this done? I'm going to need to bring up my stochastics to identify what kind of momentum we have here. And let's get rid of the drawings. Makes everything too noisy. We'll come back to that. Momentum is still okay. Now, when we bring back up the automated trend lines, we have not touched support yet at around 38.26. We closed out on Friday at $49.41 after hitting a low at $40.88. Let's go to a monthly chart. I want to see, I'm going to overlay monthly support and resistance on top of this chart. It's not showing me any monthly overall resistance here or support. Here's the monthly view. We have not broken trend. I don't see a compelling reason to buy quite yet. Let's bring up the fibs. Yeah, you can see we bounced off of the Fibonacci retracement levels. This is a great little tool here. Just click a button. And $40.91. I mean, that's pretty much pinpoint of where the retracement level was. And it looks as though the algorithm started bidding it back up. I think we need to pull back in a higher low. Let's go to the daily view. Yeah, I'm not a buyer here. I think we just filled the gap. And don't get me wrong, this could be the bottom for all I know. I'm just not willing to put capital to work to accept the risk that we have, in fact, seen a bottom. All I'm looking at right now is the fact that we hit a support level, a Fibonacci retracement level. We rallied, we had some shorts covering, we filled a gap here. And we sold off on Friday off the highs. So not a great setup from my perspective. Now, if we were to pull back, do a higher low, maybe I would enter, or even better from my perspective is if we trace all the way back down here to around $38.80, $39 a share, then I'd be interested. But right now, I'm just watching this stock. I'm not a buyer. I'm just watching. Next chart up, MRVL. So This is a great example of how these fractal trend lines come in to help us. We hit fractal resistance, double top back in January, pulled back. This is a major retracement here. Wow. And we hit fractal support. Now we have retraced a good portion of that decline. Problem is the Fibonacci retracement levels. We have a resistance level immediately above. I think we need, again, I always go back to this, when we get one of these dead cat bounces, we need a measurable high or low. You could argue that maybe we had one here. Okay, maybe. I'd rather see a more significant one, perhaps even all the way back down to $61 per share. That would be a great high or low. Then we get a launching pad from there. We break through these resistance levels. I'm a buyer. Daily view, good pullback. I'm not going to be the least bit surprised to see a continuation move higher here. But for me to initiate a new trade, not sexy. Not with a stock that's been this beaten up. This is not a momentum stock. This is a dead cat bounce off of extreme oversold levels. So I need a more significant higher low before I got longer term invested. Momentum is measured by Stokes, very long in the tooth here. So don't be surprised if we get a further pullback here on Marvel. I think longer term, it's going. Short term, I'm not ready to initiate. Would I remain long? Probably. Maybe raise some stops, book some profits if I bought in down here. Let's check and see what the insiders are doing. That could certainly influence us. I like to go to the officers. And you have some distribution here. Again, you need to spend more time going through this before you draw a conclusion. Is this part of a selling pattern that they've had in place for a year or 2 years or longer? But net, you're seeing distribution of the shares by the insiders. Moving on to our last chart, which is Oxy. Let's go to a weekly view. So this is not a good chart. But you're going to be surprised with what my response is going to be to this one. I think that energy took it on the chin way too hard last week on the sell-off. Now, if you believe, as the markets apparently do believe, and what copper believes, is that we're seeing economic growth, then one would think you're going to need oil, right? You got to go figure that. So the way I'm going to look at this one, I'm going to say, okay, we had the power to break out above this upper band of fractal resistance. Could this be, in fact, a retracement back down to prior resistance, now support? Maybe. What would help me quite a bit with this stock is if we gap up and stay up this week, daily view. Going by the daily chart does not look wonderful. It looks like a bear flag setup. It looks like we may drop lower. Stokes are validating that. Let's see what the seasonality looks like. Not a great time of year. The next couple of months, few months, to be honest with you. Let's take a look at what the insiders are doing. They're being awarded stock. You had some buyers back. Oh, look at Berkshire was buying back in February, December. So Berkshire's still in this. They're not selling. People are being awarded stock and they're not selling. Let's go to the top officers. Same deal here. So no negative insider distribution to be concerned about. Shorter term, I'm worried about the daily chart. I think we may retrace lower. If we begin to see good jobs data that coming out this week, good GDP reports coming out, then you got to be a buyer of Oxy. I think that this is probably going to be a good opportunity to begin building a position, because the macro view, taking a look at a monthly chart, is that at current, this is the 29th of June. We have one trading day left to go. This is a monthly breakout here. Granted, we're off the highs of the month. It's not a pretty breakout, but it's a breakout nonetheless. So I think that while this is not a pretty chart, I think that it's one that needs to be watched, respected, and probably should be nibbled upon in the coming weeks, if not months. With that, folks, that's it. Like, subscribe. Don't forget about TrendSpider's up to 50% off sale. Use the link below on YouTube, link above on Twitter to take advantage of the offer. Thank you, and everybody have a profitable trading week. I'll talk to you soon. Be well.